Hello all, this is Eric the Lone Pine Wolfman, back with another video on Ancestors: Humankind Odyssey. This time I'll be going over some of the potential predators our ancestors faced, while also addressing some of the criticism I see about the game itself. But before we begin, do you need a new laptop? Or perhaps you want to see great new designs for those game controllers or accessories out there? Check out my links below and spruce up your gaming lifestyle. Oh, and real quick, it has been confirmed which species will be playing at the beginning of the game, thanks to a wonderful German YouTube channel that I had just been made aware of, GameStar, and their playthrough. So get ready to be Sahelanthropus Tagensis. Early archaeologists and anthropologists came up with the idea that since these apes were our ancestors, they must have been exceptional and dominated their surroundings from the start. Early hominid species were thought to be great hunters, with their fossils often being found near the fossils of other animals. This was generally kept up, until fossils like that of the Taung child of the 1920s and others began to slowly change theories throughout the decades that our ancestors were not the hunters, but the hunted. Our earliest ancestors were prey animals, and had to contend with predators from the water, land, and sky. 10 million years ago, we were just another link in a food chain that we were not on top of. So some playthroughs from channels like Frag Hero and GameStar have shown us some of the predators we'll run into. I'll speculate some others. While Sahelanthropus was not a seafaring ape, like any other land animal, it needed fresh water to drink and live. It is often presented dangers, however, with predators from the water. In the trailer we see a big crocodile, and can surmise that in the game it will become a major threat. As for crocs in Africa at the time, or any other time I guess, these guys have changed little in millions of years before and after this time period. There were several species that existed. But I'll give you two of my best guesses: Crocodylus chekchiae and Crocodylus garipensis. Both are big, averaging probably somewhere between 13 and 16 feet in length, and similar to the Nile croc today. Some archaeologists even argue that in chekchiae's case, it might not even be a separate species. Regardless, that means our ape forefathers would have been in real danger near watering holes and spaces where these ambush predators could spring. So while our ape brethren lived on land, most of the predators that we'd encounter also did. Many things were running around Africa at the time, possibly wanting an ape-like snack. The opening cinematic and some of the trailers show us some big cats. But I would like to make clear that no, we will not be confronted by one of the most famous of them, Smilodon. One, because it wasn't around when the game starts, believed to have evolved only 2.5 million years ago, and it also lived in the Americas, not Africa. We'll actually be encountering some of his ancestors, like Machairodus africanacetus, and others. These guys also had sabers, and some of the fossil evidence shows the powerful, bone-crushing effect these jaws had on our ancestors. So any bush, long grass, or even trees can make our playthroughs extremely stressful. Evolving to walk upright did have a benefit, to be able to see for longer distances, and possibly would alert us to our deadly feline antagonists. But big cats were not the only danger. Africa had an assortment of what were known as bear dogs, giant creatures that seemed like a hybrid of both animals, hence the name. Afrosian would have been one of these vicious animals. Other wolf-like or bear-like animals were there also, like Disopsalis or Exiguodon. Big pigs would have echoed the terrifying legacy of the Entelodonts of old. Just so remember, in the Miocene epoch, pork eats you. And we have seen snakes in the cinematics and gameplay, like the Eastern Green Mamba. Snakes were not just some scaly danger noodles hanging out in the Jungle Book. They could poison us or constrict us and eat us. While our ancestors used trees for some measure of safety from predators on the ground, some of these snakes would have been a danger to us anywhere, even in our arboreal homes. Not all threats were in the water or on the ground. Some would have come from above. Millions of years ago, huge eagles combined with our smaller ancestors meant that these beaked flying murder machines were a major threat. The game listed the Batular eagle, but I'm sure others will be present in the game as well. Some of the largest eagles are still found in Africa today, and signs of beaks breaking into Taung child's skull, or otherwise known as Australopithecus africanus, nearly 2 million years ago, shows that by even the end of the game, our ancestors were still an avian delicacy. I'm sure there'll be other eagles in the game, and some of them may include Cercatus, or the snake eagles, or some form of the species of Aquila, or the hawk eagles, also known as the true eagles, of which several species are still alive today. Ancestors Humankind Odyssey is a survival game through and through, with having to eat and sleep, which means we need to find safe places from these predators. There seems to be safe areas displayed in the game, but how do we create them? Do we just find them? Or do we have to use our scouting and intelligence to find and make areas safe? One thing is clear, moving around by yourself or leading your troop to a new location will be a dangerous undertaking, requiring skill, planning, and decisive action. I would like to take this section to talk about the two major complaints I've been reading about and throwing at the gameplay videos so far. One is that the graphics do not look up to 2019 standards, and look like an old generation style of graphic. Two is that there doesn't seem to be much to do, or in plain words, looks boring. I'll try to examine these complaints, but of course, let me know your own views down below. The graphics complaint is a legitimate one, and for many of the gameplay vids out there. However, I cannot say that if this is just a style, or if they're just still working out core issues with the game and waiting to polish it later. I remember when Kingdom Come Deliverance was in its Kickstarter days, and early graphics weren't that great. It only got better with time as the game developed. But would time be a positive or negative factor? Just recently, the game has been announced on the release date of August 27th for PC, and sometime in December for consoles. So will the developers have enough time to polish the game? Only time will tell. Graphics are important, but it does seem to have its more ardent supporters. Some people will refuse to play a game with graphics that are not, well, spectacular. Others don't mind as long as the gameplay is great. And some others may even see it as not lower grade graphics, but as an artistic style. So which is it? Well, I feel the game is just a bit unpolished at the moment, just because it's still in development. And I'm sure it'll be fixed up in time. But that brings us to our second issue, the gameplay. The second issue is really an issue of content. I've read "it's boring" and similar remarks scattered among the YouTube videos. Again, this is a game about evolution and survival, and there doesn't seem to be much of a story going on other than that. Now, I'm not saying this is bad or good, but for gameplay, storylines and narratives just doesn't seem to be present at the moment from what I've seen, or it may not be present at all. It looks like it will be purely survival. Now, members in the group will be named, so we as players may develop our own connections with a favorite ape or so, and perhaps not like others. So, the game seems to be banking on the sheer appeal and challenge of evolution itself. Will this be a successful model? Well, I don't think this is going to bust down any doors or shake the AAA publishers to their core, but I do see this game doing well just off the challenge it is presenting. A cult following is already forming of sorts in many comment sections over its videos, but for now it's difficult to gauge how big this game will be at the moment. But now that it has a set release date, it has a point to advertise, and to start focusing on getting the word out there, and I can't wait to see what more it might have in store for us. I feel the game is promising, and will continue to keep an eye on it. But let me know what you think of it. What are some of the issues or aspects you enjoy or want to see fixed? Or what are some potential predators you might want to encounter? Write your answers in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. And thank you to all my wonderful subscribers. I'm trying to reach 100, and for now I'm in the mid-70s. So, thank you for all your support. Also, check out my Patreon account and consider supporting the channel so I can bring you more content and in better fashion. And if you like the video, please click that like button and subscribe for more content. I am Eric, the Lone Pine Wolfman, and be sure to tune into the channel for more Ancestors to Humankind Odyssey and other history vids. Thank you.